In this video, I'll be going over the social injustice, ageism, its prevalence, and its impacts on overall health and participation in exercise and physical activity. The term ageism refers to discriminatory or prejudiced thoughts and actions towards others or perceptions on oneself on the basis of chronological age, and is one of the most overlooked yet common forms of discrimination still ongoing today. Although ageism is largely directed towards older adults, 65 years and older, the term encapsulates all age ranges, as age discrimination impacts each and every age group. As the WHO describes it, ageism is pervasive and affects people of all ages from childhood onwards and has serious and far-reaching consequences for people's health, well-being, and human rights. However, for this video, I will be mainly analyzing ageism towards older adults. Although invisible, ageist behavior and biases towards older adults are extremely common, with the WHO reporting that 1 in 2 people are ageist towards older adults, and 1 in 6 older adults ages 60 and above experience ageist behaviors. The root causes of ageism, as are all social injustices, are multifaceted and require analyzing the intersectionality of society and human behavior. However, according to helpguide.org, ageism stems from a culture of hypermasculinity and glorifying the youth. People from a young age hear about the pains of growing old and begin building intrinsic or even extrinsic feelings and biases towards aging. So much so that ageism can be commonly found in healthcare, the workplace, and within our culture. For example, older adults being provided lower quality care via doctors and nurses dismissing or ignoring medical concerns due to a patient's old age, or older adults being denied job positions or promotions due to their age in comparison to their younger counterparts, or even mandated retirement at certain ages. Although progress has been made throughout the times, such as the 1967 Age Discrimination in Employment Act that protects those ages 40 and above from age-related discrimination in the workplace, more work needs to be done from a sociological standpoint. As mentioned before, ageist discrimination and biases stem from the cultural foundation that many have grown accustomed to and continue to reinforce. In a systematic review conducted by PLOS1 that looked at the global impact of ageism, found that ageism led to worse health outcomes in over 95% of the journals reviewed. The study also found a correlation between socioeconomic status and the experience of ageism, and thus the resulting negative health outcomes. Older adults who either resided in less developed countries or were associated with lower socioeconomic statuses were not only more likely to experience ageism, but also experience greater declines in health. According to the study, ageism and lower socioeconomic statuses correlated with reductions in longevity, quality of life, social relationships, health behaviors, mental illnesses, cognition, and physical illnesses. Similarly, a journal written by Julie Allen, published in the 2016 volume of the Gerontological Society of America, analyzed and identified ageism as a risk factor for chronic disease. Allen states, ageism is one of the most socially condoned and institutionalized forms of prejudice in the country. It is generally considered normative and acceptable. Allen discusses the broad implications of ageism, from things as small as jokes and gags emphasizing the undesirable aspects of aging, to Supreme Court litigations from Kimmel v. Florida in 2000 that found that states may discriminate on the basis of age without offending the 14th Amendment, unlike the discrimination of race or gender. Allen discusses how ageism could lead to older adults internalizing and mirroring ageist beliefs, causing them to believe and behave as though they are no longer independent and healthy. Allen identifies ageism as a stressor, which previous literature establishes as a risk factor for chronic disease and mortality. Negative ageist stereotypes also impact how older adults are treated or how they perceive themselves within the athletic sphere. Texas A&M University's article on ageism within the health and fitness industry found that ageist attitudes and beliefs can have negative impacts on older adult participation in physical activity. Some ageist stereotypes found amongst the health and fitness industry are: older adults are physically inactive, frail, easily fatigued, and experience too much pain to participate in exercise or sports. However, these stereotypes negatively impact the participation from older adults, despite countless literature and evidence showing how important physical activity is for greater overall health, reducing risk for chronic disease, and injury prevention. The article discusses how crucial it is to create a space where participation in physical activity should be encouraged for older adults, no matter the physical limitations of age. A method of fighting ageism, according to the article, would be changing the perspective of physical activity and exercise. The goal of physical activity is not to become shredded with striations and tons of muscle mass, nor look like a fitness model. For many older adults, movement is key, such as learning how to execute activities of daily living, such as doing the dishes, cleaning the car, or going for walks. The article calls for a necessary change in perspective on exercise that promotes independence and reductions in chronic diseases for older adults. There are many possible solutions to mitigate and eliminate ageism and ageist beliefs. Starting from within, an important aspect of reducing ageism and its impacts is by reflecting, understanding, and recognizing one's own inherent and implicit biases on older adults. By taking an implicit bias test or assessing how they treat older adults may allow one to come face to face with their biases on age. Another method of addressing ageism would be raising education and awareness and changing intergenerational perspectives. Comprehensive awareness and educational programs regarding the impacts of ageism could drastically reduce ageist behaviors moving forward. The reason why I chose to discuss the topic of ageism is because after taking an implicit bias test, I found that I had a bias favoring younger adults over older adults. Moreover, a negative experience that I had at the senior care facility led me to believe that all senior citizens and older adults were grumpy, in pain, and rude. However, my perspective completely changed after volunteering at the Institute on Aging, a senior citizen care facility for dementia patients. Interacting and engaging with many of the patients there greatly broadened my perspective on older adults, as I've learned so much not only about their lives and experiences, but also about the vast diversity amongst each and every individual. By recognizing and addressing ageism and its impacts on older adults, a more mindful culture can be paved that promotes the interconnectedness and overall health amongst generations.